I need to get my Stampin' Lips. I am so excited to see you. I'm going to try this new stuff out. This was in my box of peach awesomeness, and I think it'll go with my kind of coral colored sweater. So I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. I hope you're not melting wherever you might be, because it's warm out there. I just actually ran to the post office super quick, and it was...
Sorry, I don't understand.
That zip it, Siri. I know you don't understand. It was warm, but not like terrible. I guess, let's see how warm it is. 88. It's pretty toasty. But I know it's way warmer in other places. Did I get some sun? You know, a little, not a ton. I have hardly had any sun this summer, which I'm hoping to change. I've been we've been doing all kinds of stuff like inside, and there's just been a lot of things that don't involve me relaxing in the sun, which I just don't think is right. So, but I am happy to still be kicking, right? Like, maybe I take it, you know, I go for like a 40-minute walk every single morning, but it's often near the rise of the sun, not the height of the sun. So I never get like lots of sun. So anyway, this weekend I spent a great deal of time in the car. So we drove to, we have a cabin, which actually we're getting ready to sell. And so we've been going there the last few weeks trying to get everything ready. And then yesterday my husband has been working from the dining room, which we don't have we have a room that's technically a formal dining room, but we're not formal dining room kind of people. So he's been working from the formal dining room on our formal dining room table, which is not formal. And so he asked if we could switch to the guest bedroom, which is actually, you know, has like doors and everything. So we decided to do that. We needed a table. And so we drove to IKEA, which is like 2.5 hours. So we got the IKEA stuff, and then we got home and we started putting it together. Actually, I think it was more like we got it in the door after spending all day in the car and shopping at IKEA, which are like two of my husband's least favorite things in life, especially because I'm the one who drives. I think you all know what I mean by that. Anyway, so we got home and realized the table was the wrong size. So Carl and I are going to IKEA tomorrow. We weren't going to, well, actually, literally tomorrow is the only day left of the entire summer that we can go, because he has the rest of the week, he has work schedules. Then he starts afternoon practice, and then like right now his practice is in the morning, so he'll start afternoon practice the week after next. And just like that was literally the last day that we could go, and I can't go by myself because I'm not strong enough. And so yeah. And Cheryl, I just changed it to Wednesday, same time but Wednesday, because literally it's the only day we could go, which I don't like changing that, but I didn't know what else to do. And the other thing is then we couldn't return it. So it's a whole thing. Anyway, it's good that we're going because we got to get this fixed. And my husband is not happy, and we don't need any more of that around here, if you know what I mean. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, it was not happy around here when we discovered the mistake. So yeah, you went to an IKEA on Saturday, but you went to Kansas City. I know, Crystal, on our side, I wish there was one in Des Moines, but on our side it's Chicago. So yeah, it's crazy. But I also got to go to the Container Store, which is one of my favorite places because it's all about containers. Who doesn't like containers? And my husband was really patient. I knew what I wanted or what I needed. We got in and out fast, so that was good. And today we've been, so all, well, it's, oh, St. Louis is way further, like 4.5 or 5 hours. Chicago's 2.5 hours, so it's much closer. Yeah, it's pretty convenient to get there. But tomorrow there'll be traffic. That's the only thing. Chicago's not so bad on the weekend, but it's real bad on the week evenings because everybody's headed out to the burbs where we'll be going. But anyway, we'll make it. We'll survive. And Carl, of course, has requested to go to lunch at the Cheesecake Factory, and I'm pretty sure that he also wants to do the mall because, oh my gosh, you guys, so both my kids are going to be seniors next year. Have we talked about this? Ella's a senior in college. Carl will be a senior in high school. And so like we have to get his senior pictures taken, and I don't know if I'm like mentally prepared for this. Like I knew it was coming and I'm excited about it, but I think it's all happening really quickly. So, oh, Sharon is 2.5 hours from St. Louis, Chicago, Indianapolis, and Des Moines. How are you 2.5 hours from Des Moines? I'm not even 2.5 hours from Des Moines. Like I'm barely 2.5 hours from Des Moines. Des Moines it's like 3 hours to Ames and about 2.5 to Des Moines, I think. Because I've made several, state is on the Des Moines side. So we've made several trips to Des Moines and also to Ames for Ella, between Ella and Carl. Yeah. You drive too fast? I think I drive pretty fast, but not that fast. What is a Container Store? Oh, Google it. It's a store full of containers, literally. It's like closet organizers, office organizers, kitchen organizers, bathroom organized. It's like every single thing that can be organized in a container is at the Container Store. It's glorious. It's all like IKEA has some of the same things, but the Container Store is, I guess, fancier. So yes. And oh, Crystal, I know exactly where the Container Store is in Des Moines. I've been there many times. But now actually Chicago's closer to me than Des Moines a little bit. It's similar. So the only bummer about Chicago is there's tolls. Oh my gosh, Melanie works at the Container Store. Oh, I would never be able to work at the Container Store. All of my money would go to the Container Store if I worked there. Like I would have to give them more money than what I would earn. But it's a really fun place. And you know, whenever I go to the Container Store, if I'm with somebody, I have to be like, because nobody appreciates in my family, nobody appreciates the Container Store the way I do, but it is like amazing. It's just the best place ever. Like I get so many things from the Container Store. Oh, I just am happy thinking about it. So anyway, but I have to tell you, ooh, a great discount. That would be nice because the Container Store is nothing if not spendy. If you want to be organized, like it's not cheap, but it's fabulous stuff. I will say, like, I've gotten things at different places and the Container Store items are always way better. So I was at, or wait, where was I going with this? Oh, So we were talking about my husband moving his office. So we we were going to move some of my painting things to where his office was, because like I said, our formal dining room is not for formal dining room use. And that way I can be upstairs and help with the puppies instead of down here, and then everybody's happy. So anyway, we're going to have, sorry, I'm just reading comments. We're going to also get a couple, well, we did, that's one of the things we got at the Container Store, was like a little drawer thing for my painting supplies so that I can put them away. I know, right? So who just said that about the container? Courtney said, you should see my face light up when I talk about the Container Store. I know, right? It's almost as exciting as talking about stamping, right? I had to laugh. I was talking to somebody recently about like hobbies and crafts, and we decided that stamping is a hobby, and then collecting stamping supplies is a completely separate but also an additional hobby. And so I was laughing because a very dear friend of mine, she is a master organizer. And as you guys know, I know some of you ask how my organizing stuff goes. Well, it kind of ebbs and flows, we'll be honest. I was doing really, really, really well until like all the stuff started happening around here with my husband. But I go through times where I'm really well organized and I love it. But then when I'm like on a deadline or whatever, then it all kind of gets trashed. So I'm looking at my desk right now, and it's so my two assistants, one is on vacation and one is about to go on vacation. So it's sort of perfect stormed is happening at the same time. So I'm trying to get everything done that this is the stuff they do as soon as possible before they leave. And Whitney's already gone and Lee's leaving shortly. And then Becky, my other assistant, she lives in Texas, but she's also having surgery. So it's like, oh my gosh, everything's happening at once. I'll be okay. Anyway, so I've been trying to get all the things ready so that they can get things ready so that while they're gone, I can just work ahead here and maybe take a little time off, because all my attempts to take time off this summer have kind of been thwarted. But I'm hoping maybe I'll have time to organize my new painting space upstairs. So anyway, so the Container Store is how you organize your hobbies and Stampin' Up is how you collect for your hobbies and use things for your hobbies. So anyway, okay, there was another comment I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Moving hour and a half. Yes, definitely the Container Store. I wish there's actually, I would say I wish there was one closer, but it's probably okay that there's not. But yeah, the Container Store is really the best. So, all right. We've talked about containers. We've talked about IKEA. We've talked about moving. We've talked about driving. Have we talked about my gray hair? I'm just kidding. So yeah, lots of things happening here, but it's good. I have some pretty fun, I think, pretty fun projects to share with you today. And then we are also going to have, let's see, we have a week left of bonus days with Stampin' Up. So for every $50 you spend, you get a bonus day coupon in July. And then in August, you redeem the bonus day coupons. Yay! So that's exciting. We have 2 online classes coming out, and you guys, they are amazing. I'm really excited about the classes, and we'll talk more about those in just a minute. And then, like I said, I've got some fun projects. I've got a couple easy projects, and then, a couple easy projects, and then a little more detailed project, I guess, however you want to say it. But I got to clean up my space a little bit really quick. Also, what's up with my voice? I don't know what's happening there. My voice seems to be disappearing. Maybe because I drove to Chicago and was in the car with my husband for at least 5 hours yesterday, and yet we hardly spoke. I shouldn't say we hardly spoke. We did speak. It's not like we were, but this is the most talking I've done. He's not the most verbose guy to start with. And then on top of that, he took a nap, which is fine. He needs his beauty sleep, but I didn't talk, and so maybe my voice is like extra tired from the workout it's getting now. I'll be warmed up by Thursday, right? Oh, I will tell you this though. Driving is kind of tiring, especially because I'm doing all the driving. And I was really tired this weekend. Like, we went to bed at like 9 o'clock and I was out, and we got up at like 5:30, I suppose, this morning, and I wasn't quite awake. And this morning I was on the struggle bus. You guys, I drank a Diet Coke. But it did not bring me a tremendous amount of joy, just a little caffeine, and that's what I needed. So, one Diet Coke. But don't judge. But that's like pretty much the only one I've had in almost 2 months. So, that's not bad. Like, I think that's okay. See, I got my water here. And so I'm feeling okay about that. But I did splurge for a Diet Coke this morning, and it was just the caffeine kick I needed. I wish they made something better for you that was as amazing. I don't know. I wish, I don't know. Honestly, I really haven't missed it that much. I mean, a little, but not a ton. I've been fine. I don't know. It's interesting, but whatever. We're all surviving. I thought it would be worse, to be honest. I really did. I thought like all of it would be worse. Okay, so we're gonna start with I had well, actually, sorry, I gotta flip my camera. I got cards to show. I've got all kinds of stuff to do yet. Okay, so let me flip my camera. Okay, hold on. Okay, oops. Here we go. Whoa, that was too far. Sorry. Okay, you can look now. It will stop jiggling things. All right, so I've got some cards in the mail that I wanted to share with you. My first card is from one of my uplines who sent me this cute little card. So this is just so sweet. I loved it. This is with the kiwi. Let's see, what is this called? Kiwi, Kiwi to my heart. Is that what it's called? No, Hello Kiwi. There we go. And then this is the Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper, which is my favorite paper, by the way. In fact, I was going to make a card with it, and I was like, no, you always use that paper. So I chose a different DSP for today, but I do really like that paper. Then here's another really cute card. This one is from Susie. Oh, she sent me a really sweet card saying thank you for her happy mail, and you're so welcome, my dear. Susie's on my team, and she makes some really nice cards as well. I loved that DSP. Do you guys remember that? It's from a couple years ago. And then here's another beautiful card I received also. This is from Betty. This was another thank you card. And oh, bless her heart, she said thank you for the card I sent to celebrate her birthday. But I love her card. This one features the inked and tiled stamp set, which we're going to use here in just a minute. And I love that. So thank you so much for the cards in my mailbox, friends. I always love getting mail, and I'm so grateful whenever you take time to send a card to me. Now, speaking of inked and tiled, and by the way, I really liked that card. So pretty. I wanted to make an I had a request for an inked and tiled card. Well, I can't ever not make an inked and tiled card, but I gotta do, I'm all I'm all out of whack here in my order of things. So Inked and Tiled is one of my classes for this month. Classes go out next Monday, a week from today. So if you have not registered, I would love to have you join us. We've got some really great projects for Inked and Tiled. This is my Creativity to Go kit. And I really am excited about the cards that we're making. Some really fun ideas for this bundle. We also have my Trucking Along class with my besties, Barb and Kelly. And these cards are just super awesome. We've got some fun folds, we've got a cool It Does Stuff card. We've got a little bit of everything in this class. And I think you're going to love all the fun ideas we have for this bundle. And we're going to make a card with this here in a little bit. Now, I do have just a few of the option C's available, which come with the bundle that you can't get right now. So that's kind of awesome. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And I think you guys are really going to love this class. Now, both of those classes are going to be on the, oops, sorry. Thought this was my picture. Both of those classes are going to show up on my Stamp Happy Academy website this month. So if you're not a member, this is awesome. Speaking of, I am going to be live on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. It was supposed to be Tuesday, but like I said, I have literally the only day I can go to Chicago is tomorrow for the rest of summer. So I'm switching it to Wednesday at the same time. And I'm really excited about this live too. I've got a really cool fun fold that I'm very excited to share with you. And I've also got a cool color combination and of course a cool layout for you during our live. Now, if you aren't a member of Stamp Happy Academy, you can join us at stamphappyacademy.ning.com, and we have 3 different membership levels to join. It's the best, and we would love to have you there. I also have a really great Sunshine and Creativity box this month, which is the creative ways to use background stamps. We're going to use a background stamp here in just a minute. It is such a great opportunity to get a fun box in your mailbox each month that has all kinds of really wonderful stuff. It's got fun goodies. It's got pre-cut cardstock with great in-depth tutorials featuring different things. And actually we vote on which things we're going to do each month. So background stamps was voted on for this month, and I love it. There's so many cool things you can do with background stamps, but I think so many times we forget what to do with them or how to incorporate them into our cards. So I'm excited to share some really fun ideas with background stamps with you. So if you're not already, you can subscribe. There is a link in the description of this video. Also, don't forget, I have Friday fun videos each week on Friday. So we start and end the work week off with Friday fun. And I hope you've been enjoying that. So check those videos out. They are on my channel here. You can subscribe here in the corner to get subscribed for all the videos that I share each week or month. Well, each week, each month, all the time. Also, when you shop my online store, I have a wonderful gift for you this month. It's the Earth and Elegance All-Star Video Class Bundle. It's 12 fabulous projects, each with video tutorials, measurements in both English and metric units, and gorgeous photos of these incredible projects with demonstrators from around the world who are true artistic, fabulous, amazing, and talented designers who bring you amazing projects each month. So I'd love to have you be a part of that. You can also subscribe to our monthly tutorial. It changes each month, and we have a new subscription period that's happening right now. Again, if you have questions, just holler. All right, so there's all of that. Now we're going to make an inked and tiled card. I'm just so excited about it. I got ahead of myself with the order of things. Okay, so inked and tiled is one of those sets that we made a really cool card with this, by the way, last week, featuring the punches. Today we're going to we're going to do, I had a request for, let's see, I think it was from Courtney. It was for inked and tiled with Emboss Resist. So I'm going to see what I can do for that. Now, this set is really a wonderful set because I love, it just really appeals to, I love the naturey look of it. You know, it's like actual dried flowers or, you know, printed flowers is how they designed it, and leaves. And I just love the look of it. And it's just so pretty. It's really easy. But I had kind of a fun idea for this, and we're going to see how it turns out because sometimes you just never know. But it's all good. So I'm going to start with just a piece of white cardstock. And then, actually, sorry, that's the wrong piece. There we go. A piece of white cardstock. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 inches. And I am going to stamp and emboss this. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to drop my embossing buddy in here. By the way, when you do it in here, then you don't get powder. That's kind of like chalk on, or fingernails on the chalkboard when you feel the powder in other places. I'm just saying. It catches it all in my tray. Because I already have my embossing powder in containers, I don't tend to use the tray for dumping my powder in it all that often. But I noticed this. I did this over the weekend. Or actually, it was last week. Anyway, I noticed it. I dropped the thing in there, and it really worked nicely. So I just thought I'd throw that out. Okay, so we're going to use this flower image, and we'll stamp and heat emboss it. So I'm going to ink this up in Versamark ink. And then I'm going to stamp it down like so. All right, and then I'm going to heat it with white powder. You could also use clear. I just happen to have my white handy, so we're going to go with white. I suppose you could do this with other kinds of powder, but this will work well for what we're going to do. Okay, and then we're going to heat her up. Now, of course, I love I was going to say tongs. Those are not tongs. Tweezers. I knew it started with a T. I love the tweezers because they're really wonderful for keeping your hands free of burns. I say that jokingly, but also kind of serious. I haven't burned myself like horribly before, but I've come close. I like to live on the edge of danger embossing wise. Just making sure I got everything, because if you don't, this next step can be ugly. So you just want to make sure that you don't burn your fingers off, because your heat tool does get pretty toasty. All right, now I recommend having a piece of scratch paper underneath. And you can do this with ink with, let's see, sponge daubers. You can do it with our blending brushes, or you can do it directly with ink pads. And that's actually what I'm going to do is work directly with my ink pads. Okay, so I thought I'd pull out a little Coastal Cabana, because you know it's the color that lets us know God loves us. And I'm just going to kind of carefully drag the pad over this. You could also do this with Stampin' Spots, by the way. Okay, so I'm just dragging the ink pad over the top. And darn it, I should have done the lighter color first, but that's all right. Okay, and so this gives us kind of a blocked look. Yeah, that's not coming here. This is what I want. what I'm trying to do is, there we go. I wanted to go right up to the edge of the two. There we go. Okay, now I love kind of the draggy lines on here. I think that looks good. And then I'm going to take just a Kleenex, and then I'm going to kind of brush out any ink that's on top of my embossing. Okay, and I'll find a clean spot on my Kleenex and repeat this with the green area. And then what that does is it really allows your image to pop out, okay? And I think that looks really great. Okay, now I want to take, and I really like the look of this, but I want to kind of jazz it up a little bit, right? So I'm going to take some white ink, and I'm going to also use another stamp set. This is the Gorgeously Made stamp set, and it's got some cool texture pieces to it. And we're going to do a little stamping over the top of this with these two pieces. Okay, so I need a long block for this. Sorry, they're hard to get out of my drawer. They're kind of tucked away in the way back. This particular size is, and the first one's easy to get out, but the second one's much harder. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it on here to just create a little bit of added texture and interest. Like that. So it's subtle. It's not going to be super dark. Now I could emboss this if I wanted to, but I don't in this case because I don't want it to be as bright as everything else. And then there's also this image, which has like the words, like kind of typewritten words on it, and it's really cool. Okay, so I'm going to throw, and actually I don't even know if it matters which direction it's on. So I'm going to throw a little bit of that there, and maybe there, and maybe right there. Okay, so that just adds some kind of interesting stuff to the ink, okay, which I think is fun. All right, now that we're done with that, what I want to do is die cut this piece out. And we've got a few options for this, or actually, maybe I will not, I was going to die cut it with this, but maybe instead of die cutting it with this, I'm just going to trim this out, and then we'll attach it to a die cut piece. I like that. All right, so I'm thinking I'm going to do this just in plain old white, which I know is a little boring, but I'll show you why in a second. Let me quick run this through my machine. Okay. Okay, so here we have our, this is a scalloped contour die. And then I'm going to cut a piece to fit in here, which is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. So let's cut our cardstock to fit that. Which I hope is, oh yeah, we're going to have just the right amount. 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. Okay. Oh, perfect. And then I kind of want, oh yeah, I kind of want to distress this a little bit. And I don't know, I think I did this in a live. for Stamp Happy Academy, but we were talking about using some of the new tools that we have for the Take Your Pick tool. These are like new accessories that came out. There's 3 things. There's what I can only describe as the one end is like a piercer, but it's a lot skinnier than the one that comes with it. And then this can only be described as the dental implement, which, oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about my dentist visits last week. Well, I'll save that for right now. And then there's also a cutting blade. So there's some fun new accessories for your Take Your Pick tool, but I'm going to pop this guard off. And then I like using, so this will actually cut, let me show you. It will cut like a perforated line, so you can make like tags or bookmarks or whatever on a card that you can rip off. You know, kind of cool. Oops, well, I didn't rip it very well. Okay, so here it is. You can bend it and then rip it off. There we go. But what I want to do with it is use it to actually distress the edges of my cardstock, which someone said it reminded them, we used to have a tool, a distressor tool, and this kind of reminded them of that. And I agree. And it's a little safer than using your snips to do this, which is what I typically do. But there again, we're playing fast and loose with your stamping supplies, because sometimes when your scissors are open like this, you can cut yourself. I have actually done that before. So anyway, ooh, I love the look of this. This is awesome. All right, so we're going to put this on here, and then I want to take, now I saw this on a Stampin' Up, I think it was on, I'm not sure what it was. I think it was a Stampin' Up, maybe the artisan team did some tips or something. I believe that's where I saw this. But they did a really cool thing, and let's see if we can make it happen. So I'm going to take my grid paper, and I do believe grid paper really helps with this. And then I'm going to take a panel of crumb cake that's 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to attach it to the main piece. But what they did on here, and let's quick draw these lines in. I'm drawing them in just so you can see, but if I were doing this myself, I probably wouldn't go to that effort just because it's not too hard. But I would just eyeball it is what I'm trying to say. But if you draw in some diagonal lines, and that's where the grid paper is already gridded out, so the diagonal lines are pretty easy to do, as you can see here. And then I'm just going to follow them for my stamping. And in case you're like, what is she talking about? Don't you worry. I'm going to guide you through. Actually, I need one more line. Okay. So I'm going to put my paper on here. I can see my angled lines, and then I'm going to stamp that angle, and this is so that they're all parallel to one another with this image. And so they created a kind of a cool background doing that. So let me show you. So there we go. There's one line. And then, you know, like I could eyeball this, but you know, if I'm off, it's going to look goofy. So by having the line on there, I can just follow the line with my stamp, and then they're evenly spaced and straight, which is wonderful. Oops, I probably should have just gotten my, there we go. And now this is not, you might be thinking, well, that's not so hard, but we're going to go the other direction too here in just a second. So when we flip this, let's see, I'm going to do the same thing, but this time this is going to guide me through in the opposite direction as well. And now my lines are going to be evenly spaced and perpendicular to the first round. Which, how cool is that? So all I did was put a few lines on my grid paper, just on the diagonal, which was really easy. Okay, and one more. And now look at that awesome background. Isn't that fun? And then we kind of carried the design by stamping it on here. So then when we put it on our cards, it's gonna look amazing. Okay. Now I also want to do one more thing, and this is probably my all-time favorite thing to do. We distressed the edges of this cardstock, and we're gonna rub our ink directly on from our ink pad onto our cardstock, just lightly, and then we kind of get, I call it like a frosted look. It's just a little edging, and you might not think it's much, but when we put it on that crumb cake card, it's going to be amazing. Okay, so I'm going to move this because there's white ink all over that piece of paper. We'll give this a good crease with our bone folder. Okay, and then we're going to add this, and look at that white edging. It really makes the layer kind of stand out on our card, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so put this down, and isn't that a cool technique? So not my idea, it was from one of the Stampin' Up! Artisans, either that or the Stampin' Up! Corporate people, I'm not sure. But I noticed that, I think it was even just today that I saw this, and I thought it was kind of cool. Okay, so then I'm going to put my somewhat distressed piece on here, like so. Okay. And then we're going to pop this up onto our card. Because, I mean, obviously. I believe every card deserves at least one layer popped up, don't you? Okay. Did I have a certain spacing? Yes. I'll show you in a second. Uh-oh. Ooh. Judy. Goodness. I feel your pain. I had I went to the dentist 3 times last week. I had a crown come off after my live last week during dinner, which nobody wants to have happen. I'll just say. Ugh. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right, so how did I space these out? So I'm using my grid paper. Okay, and I just drew diagonal lines. Where'd my ruler go? Basically, on each inch box, I took the diagonal line going, diagonally through the inch box, and then just carried it out. Okay. Now, if I went up to the next, so say I started on the 5, I don't know if that's actually the one I started on, but whatever. I started on the 5, and then 4 would have been too skinny. I would have too many designs, so I skipped to 3 and then do the diagonal. So they are evenly spaced, and they are on exactly the diagonal, meaning they're at 45-degree angles, which is perfect, of course. Okay. Now I could have also done this and drew these lines out, but I figured I could just flip my paper and that worked just fine. So yeah, that's how I did this. And I could keep this as a little reference piece to repeat this process again. But it's really fun with some kind of border stamp that you might have to do this with. You could probably do it with other images too, but I think a border would work best. Anyway, so there's our card. We need to add our sentiment to this, and our set has all kinds of wonderful sentiments. And I'm just looking for my actual set, because I only have one mounted right now. What did I do with the It's just right here. Okay, so we've got a bunch of different sentiments that we can use. And I think maybe happy birthday is going to work nicely for this one. So let me pull that out. And we can, now we could stamp this directly on here. Or what I think I'm going to do is just take this little scrap left over from here. Well, actually, you know what? Actually, that card I got in the mail, look at this. She used the oval punch. That's kind of nice. I'm not feeling an oval vibe on this, though. I think I'll just use this little scrap here. And I'm going to stamp this in Coastal Cabana, because you really can never go wrong with the color that lets us know God loves us. So there's my happy birthday, and maybe I'll just trim this a skosh. Just a little, make it just a teensy bit skinnier. And I'm going to trim off the end. Okay, and then I'm going to use, I think this will fit in here. Uh-oh. I was going to say, I can't get it all the way in. But I have a really good tip for when you have a piece that's small, but you want to put it in one of these punch pieces. I'm going to take and stick this to a Post-it. And now this gives me like a handle. So I can get this all the way up in here, punch the end off, and I got it pulled right back out. So look at that. Perfect. I'm going to stick it right here, and I'm going to pop that up too. Like that. Okay, now one final touch. I've got, ooh, we might be opening a new package. I know I have another package of these open somewhere, but oh well, we'll go with this. It is. It's a brand new pack. These are the In Color pearls, and while I'm using Lemon Lime Twist, we can for sure use the, we can for sure use the Parakeet Party pearls because they will coordinate nicely. And just throw a few of those on here. Ooh, I kind of like sticking them on here just like that. That's a little different. I could even throw a couple of these. Ooh, they just blend perfectly. These are technically Tahitian Tide, but they look really nice with the Coastal Cabana on here. You'd never know the difference. So look at that fun card. Okay, but wait, there's more. All right, so so many times people love when I put things on the inside of our cards. So let's grab a 4x5 1/4-inch panel. And I'm just going to, let's be smart about this time. I'm just going to drag a little bit of ink on here just to make things interesting. Like that. And then I could even, ooh, okay, here is where we're really going to make things sing. I'm going to take this. Now this has got thick wet ink, you know, because it's right off of our ink pad. So I'm going to drop my embossing buddy on here pretty liberally. In fact, let's throw it in here and drop it down several times. Because what I want to make sure is my next step when I emboss this, it does not pick up the ink that's on the cardstock. And I can feel it. It feels gross, but it feels dry. Okay. And then I'm going to take my just use the back of this. I'm going to take my leaf. This is right out of our inked and tiled stamp set still. I'm going to ink that baby up and stamp it over the top. Now, if I would have been thinking, I would have done this first. But when you don't think and you get all excited about your projects because you're live in your video and your card's turning out even better in real life than you thought it would in your head, sometimes you forget. So we'll emboss second and we'll still get it to work because look at that, it did not stick where it wasn't supposed to. Okay, so we'll heat set that quick and then we'll put it on the inside and call it amazing. And then we'll be proud of our work because the design is totally carrying through. I am proud of this card because, like I said, it's turning out even better in reality than it did in my head, and that it doesn't always happen. I'm sure you all have experienced that at one point or another in your card making, where you made something you thought was incredible, but it turned out to be kind of a stinker, right? We've all been there. It's part of the process. It's kind of like paying your stamping dues or something. I don't know. So I just put a little bit of that light white ink on there to just kind of carry the theme throughout. Now, what's kind of fun about this card, some of you might hate this part, but what I like about it is this is a fairly unique card because you'll never get the ink to go exactly like it did this time. So you can repeat it. It will look similar, but a little bit different. But I think that's kind of the fun of it is, you know, you get your own unique look each time you do it. But there we go. So I tried to do the Coastal Cabana ink on just the flower part, and then of course the lemon lime twist on just the leafy part of this card. And one final touch, because let's be honest, it needs this. We'll do some spritzing with our Clear Wink Estella, and everything's better with spritz. So there we go. That's our first Glorious card. I love it. I hope you guys like it too. Now there's so many different color combinations you could do with that one, and it would be really wonderful. If you like Emboss Resist, I actually did a really cool Emboss Resist card during my Friday, this past Friday's live that I really loved. And if you like the stamp set, the inked and tiled, make sure and join me for my class because I'm really excited about it. The cards are really awesome, and I think you'll enjoy all the fun ways that I create with this really great bundle, including the punches, of course. We didn't use the punches today, but I did a really fun card last Monday with the punches. So anyway, there you have it, friends. That was our first card. Now our next card is a really simple one, but I really like it. And I think it is kind of made in mind with people who need a quick birthday card that they like forgot. Like, oh, you're going to the birthday party today in an hour. You need a card. Well, here is a card for you. It's so easy. And it's one of my more favorite basic layouts. Okay, so I'm going to start with a half a sheet of Azure Afternoon, and I didn't quite mean for these cards to be the same sort of color family, but oh well, when you have good colors, it's just what happens. Now, you could substitute the Azure for a whole plethora of colors: Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Poppy Parade, even probably Berry Burst instead of Azure, and the card would be great. But I am going to use Azure, and then I'm using my Brights Designer Series paper, and I cut 3 pieces that are 1.5 inches by 3 inches long. And I'm going to adhere these 3 pieces to a piece of 3 and 3.25 by 5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to flip these all over, and we're going to attach each of them to our card. Now, whenever I do something like this, I always like to do the outside 2 first, and then center the inside one in between so that they're pretty evenly spaced, like that. Now you could do this with solid color cardstock, or you could do it with, remember I said I love the Delightfully Eclectic DSP. That's actually what I was going to do with this card. But then I decided, no, I needed to use some different DSP this time. But those papers would look really wonderful with this as well. So it's kind of whatever floats your boat at this moment. Now I'm going to use one of my favorite sets of dies, which is the Nested Essentials. You can see them here, minus the die that I'm about to use, because that's next to my machine over here. I love these dies. They are so versatile, so I recommend them if you don't already have them. And we're going to take and stamp our sentiment, which, as I mentioned, is a birthday card. Because like I said, birthday cards are the ones you need at the last minute. Now, what's great about this design and this paper and this color is that it would work for a girl or a guy. Whomever you needed a card for, this will work. So, by the way, I'm using Lemon Lime Twist, Azure Afternoon, and Granny Apple Green. So I do have 3 colors on here, but you could do whatever you needed. And I'm going to grab my Pierce mat so that I get a good stamping of my stamp, which is happy birthday. Okay. Voila. Perfection. All right. Now I'm going to put this on my card, popped up, of course, but I'm going to add a little ribbon. And we have this awesome 3-pack of ribbon. And one of those colors is Azure Afternoon. There's also some Bubble Bath and some Lemon Lolly. So it's a really nice, versatile pack of ribbon. And you could either tie it around the card or do this zigzag like I'm doing. I like the zigzag because it's not too girly, in case you need this for a guy card. Which is handy to have. Okay, and by the way, my sentiment is from, let me just tack that down, is from the Phrases for All. And I love this too, because you've got like these fun outside sentiments, and then we're going to use some of the fun inside sentiments on the inside of our card. Okay, let me pop this up because you know the rule. Something on every card must be popped up. It just seems like the right thing to do. But I think this would be really fun with yellow, with orange, with pink, whatever colors you need. Okay, and then you can either glue this directly to the card or you can pop this layer up. We'll glue it directly to the card because that makes mailing nice and easy. Okay. So, sorry, I'm just trying to decide which embellishments I want to use for this. I think I'm going to throw some of these. These are the adhesive backed sequins trio. There's some really great colors on here. As you can see, this package has been well loved. And I'm going to take and place a few of these on here. I love these sequins too because they kind of just, they go nice with, you know, whatever, and they're really simple. So this is just a super easy, quick card. Okay, but we're going to take it one little quick step further. I'm going to take from my Brights markers, I'm going to pull out, I could pull out both of these and do a little marker spritzing because that's always fun. So I've got Lemon Lime Twist here. I'm going to take the brush end and the cap and just flick. And you don't need to do a lot. But when you do that, you get some nice little flicks on here. And of course you can do that with any of the colors. And then it kind of looks like confetti, which is super fun. Okay, then of course we'll do the inside. So So I've got a layer of 4 by 5 1/4 white, and if you have some of the scraps left over from when you cut the DSP, which I do have here, you can put some on. Let's see. I'm just going to take and cut these. I'm just going to cut 1/2 inch strip through all 3 layers. Notice I did that all at once. That's how awesome our trimmer is. It will cut those 3 layers of DSP, not cardstock, but DSP. Okay, and then I can use these on here just to kind of decorate things. And I'm kind of switching up the patterns because why not? I mean, like which color is which pattern. And then I'm just going to kind of layer them on top of one another. You could do the hearts or you can do this pattern, whatever. Whatever works. So we'll put those 3 layers on, snip off this excess, and then from our stamp set, we'll do that inside sentiment. Confetti and cake for your birthday, or for your happy day, I guess it says. And then what's fun too is we can put some of those spritzes on here as well. So again, not too crazy. You can get very carried away with spritzes, but just enough so you see it's there. And I did not flick super hard. I use a light touch. Okay, so I'll throw that in here. And we have just a super fun card. There we go. All right, that's our second card for today. And we got to clear a layer off my desk before we go on, because this is getting messy even by my standards, which I have a pretty high tolerance for chaos, I must admit. Okay. I also, if I can't find one, I pull out the second of something whenever I'm working. Because I have 2 of a lot of things. You know, like the smaller items, supply things. Okay. Let's get rid of our stamps. Okay, now our last card is so cute. Oh, I love this one so much. I hope you're going to love it too. I was itching. Well, okay, let me preface this by saying, you know, I really am generally not a fan of the Christmas in July situation. I generally, as a card making professional, spend about half the year making Christmas cards, which is a little much for me most of the time. But this card is so flippin' cute and easy, so I really wanted to make it with you, and I hope that you will agree it's pretty adorable. Now you could do this. I'm still kind of debating. Should I do it in white or vanilla? You guys can tell me what you think. The colors are crumb cake, garden green, and cherry cobbler. So should we use white with it or vanilla with it? Let me know in the comments. Do you want me to use white or vanilla? Let me know. Now we're going to use the Trucking Along stamp set. I think that this is a really wonderful bundle. Obviously, it's been quite popular. And it's just so much fun. We're going to use the punch with it as well. But I just love how sweet this set is. And what I love is how they've done like so many seasons. We've got birthday, we've got, you know, a Christmas tree, we've got palm trees. Maybe that's Christmas where you live, not where I live. We've got buckets of flowers, we've got sunflowers, and we've got regular trees, all of these wonderful different things to go with our truck. So I'm feeling a vanilla. Definitely vanilla. Okay. Almost everybody said vanilla. To the couple of you who didn't, sorry, we're going with vanilla. All right, so we're gonna stamp our truck. And last week I colored the truck in with watercolors. This week I'm gonna color the truck in with Stampin' Blends. And I thought I had a memento pad out. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. So I'm going to stamp my truck in memento ink. Now you can also just stamp it with a solid stamp that comes with it, because this is a two-step stamp. But we're just going to use this. Okay. And I'm going to, as I mentioned, I'm going to color this in with my Stampin' Blends. So, just like when we watercolor, I'm going to do some dark areas on here. Like so. And then all of that will get blended out with our lighter cherry. Okay. And I am a big fan of using, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I am a big fan of using the bullet end of my Stampin' Blends. Because I think they last longer. Now this cherry cobbler combo I've had for a long time, and it still works great. Okay, so I'm just kind of going over those areas to get a nice gradation of color. Ooh, that looks good. And I don't know why I feel like this truck just needs to be red, but I will tell you, in our class, we do color the truck a variety of different colors, and actually some kind of surprising colors that are amazing. Okay, I'm also going to pull out my smoky slate markers to do the wheels and tires. So I'll do my wheel with light smoky slate. And then I'll do the tire with dark smoky slate. We have a black marker, but it's really black, and I think this will kind of look great. Okay, and then there's also this little fender, or front and back bumper, I guess is what it is. And then I'm even going to do the steering wheel. All those were with the light smoky slate. Okay, so that looks, I think, pretty good. All right, I'm going to take my punch and punch this out. Boom. Fantastic. Looks so good. All right, I'm also going to take and stamp my tree. I'm going to use some garden green ink for this. And I'm going to stamp off the first tree. So I'll just stamp it on my scrap here. All right. Stamped off. And then the second part I'll do full strength. Like so. And oh, I lined that up like the professional I aspire to be. Okay. So now we're going to cut this out, and we got to fussy cut this part. Now, here's a tip I figured out. Leave yourself just a touch of bottom to this of clean paper so that you have kind of a tab to adhere it to the truck. Okay, so you can see I left this section right here so that when I go to adhere it to my truck, I've got something to hold on to. I just think this looks so cute. So I'm just cutting out this tree. Now, if you wanted to omit this particular step, the cutting out of the tree, which it's not that bad, you could change our label and do it. Actually, I'll show you in a minute, like alternatives, because I know some of you will make a lot of these types of cards for Christmas, and I do have a suggestion for making it a little easier to do in quantity. All right, now I've got this awesome label. This is die cut from that same die set. Remember I mentioned on our last card, the Everyday or Nested Essentials dies. That's this biggest die, which is not on here. There's 4 of each of these shapes on here. And the reason it's not on here, in here, is because I, of course, used it for this. But we're going to take and stamp it with our sketched plaid background stamp. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up in some cherry cobbler. And that's the color of my cardstock. So cherry cobbler ink on cherry cobbler cardstock. And then I'm going to set this down like so on here. And then I'm going to take a block and just use that as a rubber, as I like to call it, to rub this across my design so I get a nice, wonderfully inked image. Okay, so there's my background in the plaid. Love this. Okay, so now let's put our card together. First of all, I do have a little bit of ink on me, but this, by the way, helps prevent you from getting a lot of ink on you. I only have a little, so it's okay. All right, now if I were to do this, say I wanted to do this card in mass quantities, I would change my label to being vanilla, and then I would kind of make a mark on here where the truck bed is so that I could just stamp the tree, you know, so it would be in the appropriate place, if that makes sense. But here I've got it punched out, so that's, you know, easy peasy. All right, I also have a layer of garden green that we're going to add to our card. Ooh, I've got ink on a bunch of things. Let me clean my fingers off quick so I don't ruin anything. We'll get my little Pampers out. Oh yeah, look at that. I am a little inky, not gonna lie. Okay, now that I think we've got all of that taken care of, you can see I got a little on my tabletop, so let's just clean that off, because sometimes bad things happen when we're not clean. Okay, we're good. I won't show you what that looked like. Okay, so I've got my card, I've got my layer of garden green, and you know what I'm gonna do? Got a little bit of ink right here. I think I can get rid of most of it, but let's just add another layer of fun to this, or texture. We're gonna do the faux suede technique, which is one of my favorites. You've seen me do this many times if you watch me. that. And so I'm just running my bone folder in every direction across this panel of garden green. Did I say granny apple green? I meant garden green. I don't know. It was a green that starts with a G. And once I do this enough, what happens, you can see I'm turning it in every direction, is the layers of cardstock start to separate. And then you can pull them apart. There we go. And reveal the inside and this cool texture, which looks very suede-y. Okay, now if you were doing these in mass quantity, I would probably omit this step as well, but you can do just the regular old piece of green cardstock on here. But I think it's kind of a fun look. So I'll just add that to our card base. And I love crumb cake because it's kind of a nice neutrally light color. And it looks really great. And this is also going to work really nicely as a holiday card, whether it's Christmas or not, because of kind of these, you know, this doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas, though I love it as such. All right, so we'll throw that on there. And I think I was supposed to put this up just a little higher. Let's see if we can do that still. So I've got room for my sentiment. Okay, there we go. So obviously we're popping up the label. Okay, and then I'm gonna take, and on the little tab I so cleverly left behind, I'm gonna take that and stick this in here. Now you could even decorate your tree if you wanted, but since it's in the back of the truck, we're gonna assume it's not decorated yet. And we'll pop all this good stuff up onto our cute little label here. And then our sentiment is wishing you a festive Christmas. And we're going to stamp that right down there. And I'm going to stamp it in early espresso. You could stamp it in any of the colors we used, but I kind of like early espresso for this. Okay, but wait, there's more. We've got there's red and green ribbon in a combo pack. That's too red. Let's take the green and we'll fit this right under here. And actually, to make this easy and economical for mailing purposes, instead of tying a bow or a knot or anything, we're just going to glue dot a straight line of this across, like so. And that is going to be fantastic. Versus, you know, tying a knot. Okay. Now, I feel like this needs a little bit of bling, so I'm going to pull out my brushed metallic adhesive back dots. And you could do any of these, gold, copper, or kind of that, I don't know what this color is, weathered. I think I like copper. I like gold. You could put gold dots in the car, or you could put, I'm going to put gold dots on the ribbon. So I'm just going to put a couple on there. I could put 2 there and 1 here. And look at how fun that is. Oh, I love this card so much. So isn't that cute? So stinking cute. Now you can make this card over and over and over again, just switching up the colors and the stuff you put in the truck. So it really works on lots of different levels, you know. So like if I had sunflowers in the back of the truck, I could do a yellow label, still the green, still the crumb cake. If I had kind of those buckets of flowers, I could do like a pink or a purple, like fresh freesia or whatever. Or like a soft blue, like boho, you know, so many different options. You can color the truck whatever color you want. I just think this card is so stinking cute. So I can't stress enough how amazing this class is. I hope that you will join us. Like I said, I still have like 3 option C's available. That's the option that comes with the bundle. I have the bundle, so yay. If you'd like to get on that, just drop me an email, or I've sent the link out a couple times if you're on my email list. If not, I have another email coming out tomorrow, so you can get in on the goodness of this fantastic class. Like I said, if you need the link, just drop me an email and I will send you the registration link, because once those little bundles are sold out, it's not till October that the punch comes back in. So October is a long time to wait, but it is worth the wait because this is a really cute class. So you can get in on this. Like I said, just drop me a line. Okay, I'm going to close up these ink pads before anything bad happens. I know there's already nervous people out there. Let's get rid of the garbage, and let me bring in our projects from today. We made some good ones, I think. So our first card was this beauty with the inked and tiled Emboss Resist technique and that kind of cool background. I love how we did that background. I kind of want to play with that idea a little bit more. We made this super fun and easy happy birthday card with the Phrases for All stamp set and some designer series paper. And then we use this just adorably festive Christmas card with the Trucking Along bundle. So I hope you loved these cards. Oh my gosh, they just make me happy. So thank you so much for being here. Of course, if you need any of the supplies for the projects that I used, you can shop my online store. There's links in the description of this video. If you're watching the replay, I will also put the supplies I used in here linked as well. Tomorrow, I'll get this up on my blog with the photos and everything. If you have any questions, of course, don't ever hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for stamping with me today, guys. The thumbs up helps me so much out with the YouTube. There's only about half of you have given me the thumbs up, and gosh, it helps when you do that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There should be a little thing right here that you can click on. And I will see you back here on Friday. I've got another fun technique to share with you. I'm looking forward to that. Otherwise, guys, have a great rest of your week. Stay cool wherever you are, and we'll see you next Monday as well. Bye, guys.